Okay, let's talk about this week's gate or hexagram. This week we are in gate 8 or hexagram 8. Um, and so let's talk about all the different aspects of that. When we look at it from the human design perspective and the quantum human design perspective, in human design, it's called the gate of contribution. And in quantum human design, it's called the gate of fulfillment. And what this is really about is it's a throat gate. It's found in the throat chakra, and it's about our ability to truly express ourselves from our heart space. So when we look at the elements that are involved with this gate, it's water and earth. On the water side, it's that connection to deep source. It's the really knowing who we truly are. And then the earth energy helps us express it. Earth is associated with that throat chakra. It's the expression of true self. But when we look at it more deeply, we talk a lot about life purpose. We hear a lot about living your life purpose, finding abundance through living your life purpose and all of these things. But it's really understanding that living a life purpose is not what you do, it's who you are. So it's about the essence of your consciousness. And when we look at the gene keys and we contemplate what the gene keys is saying about this gate, it's really saying at its shadow, it looks at imitation. It's where we have collected self-image around what we are supposed to be, who we are supposed to be, what the collective, it's really when we dig into that shadow side, it's where am I holding up the mediocrity of status quo, where I follow along because that's the safest place to be. But also, where do I have story that I don't follow along? And even in that, understanding that even if we are the rebel, that's still a place of somewhat, trying to fall into what we imagine or we imitate our way into being, right? And so at its highest expression, this gate is our ability to let go of all of that and to be who we are in every moment, which is this constantly this constant evolving energy of who we are, letting go of all of the story in its most advanced state, or in the city state, in the gene keys. It's really about there is no story, there is no past, there is no future. It's called I'm getting hung up on my words, but it's really about that water essence where I am both everything. One of the images that came to me when I was studying this gate was a prism, right? So you have like the light comes through and it's all these millions of lights on your wall, but the prism itself is one whole that contains all of that. And then Richard Rudd actually uses the diamond, which tracks. So it's like, all the multifacetedness of a diamond, but the diamond itself is this unity, this container, this wholeness, and in its wholeness, it's perfect, but it's also made of all of this aspect, right? And so it's really a very feminine key. It's really about that water energy. It's deeply around unity of I am all potential and therefore I am no potential, right? Like I can be all of the things. And in doing so, I can let go of any self-limitation of who I am supposed to be showing up as, or what I think I need to say, or how I need to try and fit in. And so we bring it back to that throat gate when we're really connected to that water energy. Then now is the time. What this gate really asks us is, am I in my fullest expression? And the quantum human design would say, and from there, am I fulfilled? Am I fulfilling my life purpose by really truly speaking my individuality, my uniqueness? Why, when we remember that at the core of human design and the gate and the I Ching and and the gene keys, it's really about who am I here to be, not what am I here to do, although that's part of it, but who am I here to be, and am I being that? Am I in my fullest expression? And in doing so, I'm contributing to all of humanity. And if not, then taking this time to learn to see where you might be disconnected. So from the quantum human perspective, when this gate is out of balance, the unbalanced expression is kind of feeling panicky that you don't know your life purpose, or that you have to kind of force something or speak too soon, right? Again, it's a throat chakra. So it's about the divine timing of knowing who I am and then waiting to speak when it's the right time, when people can hear me, when I'm really fulfilled, when it's coming from pure consciousness and not rushing or pushing against, right? Like, or speaking against. It's really about opening up and learning to express your most authentic self, your true self, peeling away all of the parts of you that are imitating or taking on the cultural conditioning of the way it's supposed to be, right? So we pull that stuff away. And one of the things that I think is really amazing about this gate is when we really work with it, it's that it's the line, when we're really in this gate, it's really about the magic of all of what the world could be versus what status quo and being institutionalized has taught us to see and be. And remember that a lot of our world is created through our perceptions, through what we think we see and hear and feel. And so what this gate is asking us to do is like, what's the magic beyond all of that perception? What could it be if you imagined it totally different? If it could be anything, if any potential. And actually this morning I pulled let's try that again. This morning I pulled this card, which is called the Aqua Aura Quartz. And it comes from the Crystal Sound Healing Oracle. And it talks all about this watery place of allness, right? This watery place of pure imagination. And the alchemy mantra in this book, which is really like the exercise, was really about imagining something that's kind of beyond something that already exists, remembering that we are creators of our universe by being involved by and when I say creator, it's not the artist, right? Like we tend to think we're not a creator if we didn't create something that is tangible, but every time we have a new thought, we do something in a different way, we have a new conversation, that's all creativity, right? Like every time we solve a problem, that comes from creativity. And so this card and this gate, it's they're all coming together to say, what does it look like when I really tap into that creator energy, and which is the archetype that I would talk about, this water energy that says, who am I at my most pure essential energy, my pure consciousness? Who am I at that level? And then what am I here to do with that information comes next, right? We tend to lead with like, what do you want to do? But it's really, who do you want to be? And then by being, what does that do in the world? How do I contribute from there? Okay, so if this gate is something that, again, it's in the throat center. So if you want to work with it, some things that you can work on are you expressing your true source? When you speak, are you speaking from source? Or are you speaking from pain? Are you speaking from conditioning? Are you speaking from the need, being pushed to speak instead of letting your true voice rise from you? Are there places where you're afraid to speak, afraid to be who you are? Are you ready to bust through some of those belief systems about yourself? What would you need to what would it take? That's my question, like what would it take for you to actually live a life in which you were truly expressing all the time from your most authentic self, recognizing that it's always an evolution. You're always perfect in whatever form that's taking in the moment. So that's what you're working on this week, is true authentic self-expression, knowing that you are not only all of the different potentials that come as the light comes through the diamond, but you are the diamond, you are the whole already. And from that place, knowing that you are whole and connected to source already, who can you be? And what stories do you need to rewrite about your life in order to be that? So, that's really it. That's your activation for this week. That's where your contemplations are. I will try and maybe give you a couple energy tools to help support you along that way as we go. And I will see you when we transition to the next gate.